Well, hello, my YouTube friend. Today it is my utter pleasure and honor to present you this video about a knife coming from Mr. Thierry Savidan. But first of all, right out of the bat, I wanted to address something and talk about the packaging. Because this is something really important. When you're gonna buy a high-end custom, you want to have some nice packaging like this one. The box is, like a solid box. The name of the maker. I think that really it's a nice touch. When you're gonna pay the great dollar for a knife, the very least is that you get something like that. So for those of you makers that watch my video, maybe you should do that. It's always a pleasure to have something that dresses even more the knife. So now, what do we have here? Oh man, is that knife popping from everywhere. I am even afraid and scared to put my filthy fingers on this beautiful mokutai. You know what? I'm gonna first of all grab it by the bolster and try to show you the color, the beautiful color of this mokutai. This is absolutely brilliant. Brilliant on the other side. Look at that. Just fantastic color. Fantastic color. So, as I said, Mr. Thierry Savidan is a well-known knife maker in France. Not so much in the US, but since last Blade, he did his first major American show and he started by Blade. He was, I think, sharing a booth with someone, but I cannot recall. I don't want to say stupid things. Or he had a booth. Maybe he had his own booth. I don't know. But the thing is, he went there and he sold all his knives in a matter of seconds, I would say, or a couple of minutes. Everything was sold out. And now people in the United States know him better. So I'm going to put now my filthy fingers because while I'm speaking, I want to show you that beautiful blade. So yeah, he started at Blade, as I said, in the US actually. But in France, I'm going to wipe that out since I can film with and I can do the video with two hands now. It's nice. Yeah, he's making knives for years in France, so very well known, but you don't know him, and man, is that a great knife maker. Not a lot of people do tactical knives in France. Thierry, of course. You have Emmanuel Lebrun, which I did a video about one of his knives that I received recently. Tashi Barusha, of course, with his collaboration and his own knives. And I would say one or a couple of others, but no more than that. The major figure are now, of course, Thierry, Tashi, and Emmanuel Lebrun. So yeah, of course, I am overjoyed to present it that because you know me, I like tactical US knives. So whenever I have the opportunity and the chance to present a knife from one of my countrymen, I mean, it brings a kind of pride, more pride to present those kind of videos. So what do we have here? The Maximus is one of the models that Thierry does, and this one spoke to me like no other. So we're gonna talk, as always, starting with the handle, and then we're gonna see the blade and the mechanism or whatever, okay? As we do, no order, no specific order, and probably an erratic video as usual. So yeah, starting with the handle. We have here this finish that I requested, which is the scale in mokutai, and what a beautiful mokutai. And the bolsters in this very nice and deep gray, dark gray titanium. So it's a bolster lock, very nicely done, and a perfect bolster lock. I mean, the gap is here, but it's really not that crazy. Here there is literally no gap. Here, absolutely no gap. The only gap that I feel is here with the lock. It's very difficult. To be honest with you, I've seen only the Kickstop Hokkaido that didn't have any gap between the lock here and the scale. So very nice construction. And the contouring on this handle is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to try to focus on that. I don't know. I will try to find you an angle to show you that, because here it's all rounded, of course. I don't know what I say, of course, but it's rounded. And here there is a kind of really nice contouring, a very nice depression here, depression. I don't know, maybe you can see it, but I'm not sure. I don't find the angle that allows you to see how beautiful it is. So a lot of contouring on this handle. Really, really, really nicely done on both sides. Very nice. On the back, you have here this crazy backspacer, and I love when the backspacer has like that, the hole. I hate when there is a hole in the scale per se, in the handle. But now when you have this crazy backspacer and when you put a hole on it for the lanyard, for those of you who like lanyards, this is really, really great. It doesn't bring any impact point. So it's just protruding like that, no impact point here, but aesthetically it's absolutely phenomenal. And look at the cut that you have here on the handle that allows you to see. It's almost like, if the handle was continuing here, you wouldn't even see the backspacer. So I really like this touch, of design to cut the handle here to let the backspacer pop like that with this kind of milling in the backspacer. Absolutely fantastic. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know. There are, and I should ask, and I should have asked Thierry to know what it is, but you have those nice, this kind of, I don't know what it is, these bubbles here, not bubbles. They're kind of, hell if I know what it is, but that gives a really, really great touch. And I'll be honest with you, I literally just got the knife today, and I discovered that through the lens of the camera. So you see those bubbles here. I don't know how to call that in English. I'm sorry. They're like the balls, small balls. I don't know why I'm searching a word that is as simple as that. But sometimes, since it's not my home language, some words are missing. So you have those little balls, and that's crazy. That's a crazy touch here on the backspacer. So now, and the clip, while we're at it, and on the handle, the clip is nicely done, kind of 3D clip, very nice. You see the hardware. Eventually, I'm sure that he will end up doing some kind of, hidden hardware. But you see the hardware, not a problem. So also you see the hardware on the clip, and the clip is really, really nice. I haven't tried it. I'm not sure that I will ever try to put that knife in my pocket, but I would say that the retention seems really, really good. And it's not the deepest carry, you see. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it a fair deep carry. Yeah, this would be protruding out of the pocket should you carry this knife in the pocket, which I won't with this kind of finish for sure. Centering now, we're gonna go to the action and in a second, but centering first. It's the closest thing to spot on. No complaint at all. Very, very nicely centered. The tolerance is tight. It's on bearings. So the action, it's a flipper, and look at the design of this flipper. It's great. It's part of the blade. It has also this milling, and you have this kind of contrast. See the jimping here, and the contrast with the kind of satin and kind of bead blast inside, dark bead blast and satin. And that brings, let me try to catch the light. You see what I mean? You see? So satin here, and in the grooves like the bead blast. Very nice, and I love the design. It's a very, very nice design, even when it's closed. So, a flipper, I hate the flipper tab, and usually most of people hate flipper tab. But look at that. This one is almost like a kind of reminiscence of the backspacer or some. So, I mean, it's totally included in the design, and it works perfectly for me. When usually with a flipper, the bugging thing is going to be the flipper tab. This one is absolutely perfectly appropriate. Now, does it work well? Let me see. Ha! This pops like nothing. And the flipper, I mean, because of the jimping, because of the way, and I've talked relentlessly about those kind of flipper. I mean, you don't need to have a lot of material protruding, just a kind of jimping here, and a nice flipper when it's well placed. This one is even down or aligned with the pivot, which is okay. If it is up, it's even better. But this delicate jimping here, a small protrusion here. I mean, it would be like that, it would be enough, you know, boom, like that. It pops like nothing. So very, very nice flipper tab, and look at that, look at the design. I mean, look at the, the design is absolutely crazy. This curve, I mean, look at that, look at the curve that you have. The overall shape is, to me, absolutely phenomenal. And the feel you have in hand is excellent with this nice choil that brings a kind of guard. So yeah, of course, if you want to use that knife, it's a perfect user. I'm telling you, the grip is excellent. You don't have any jimping here, but you know, if you want to use it, that's going to be EDC task, and that's it. So whenever you have a guard, and that is something that is important, I have probably addressed that in other video. Whenever you have a guard, even if it's slippery here, it doesn't really matter, you know, because it's going to be slippery, but this is going to be slippery, but the index is going to be secured. So you have no chance of cutting yourself with the blade, you know. But if it's slippery here and you don't have no guard, this is bad. You need at least to have a nice guard if you don't have any kind of jimping. If you have this guard, a guard like that, the finger won't go anywhere, and there you can have, I mean, every task in the world, you won't need the jimping here because you will be secured with the index. So the blade, now, the blade is simply phenomenal. Look at this nice hand rub. And the video would never do it justice. I'm going to look at this side because, as you know me, I hate when there are some marks on the blade. So look at how beautiful it is here. Sterile, beautiful, very, very nice hand rubbed. And this is where the video won't do it justice. Look at the thickness of the blade that you have. I would say it's not 0.2, probably 0.187, I would say. Yeah, 0.187, no, 0.2. Most definitely 0.2. This thickness is 0.2. And here you have I mean, you can almost feel your fingers here at the edge. So you don't see it, but it's a very, very, very deep and perfect hollow grind. The hollow is absolutely phenomenal. And you know me, I like knives from McGuinness these days, and this is why what I like, you know, on those grind. They're simple but perfect. They have absolutely no bump, and believe me, the grind, this grind from Thierry can easily compare to Jerry's grind, hands down. So very, very nice and big and long hollow grind, because it's a kind of thick, not thick, wide blade. And in order to do a long hollow grind like that, it's a very, you need a big oh man, come on, a wheel. So very, very nicely done, very pointy, very, I mean, let me see. I haven't tried it, but you know, for the sake of the video, you see, I would say that that qualifies as razor sharp for sure. We are heading to 13-14 minutes. Oh, come on. I need to speak about the action. Look at the engagement here. The lock is perfectly secure. There is literally absolutely no blade play whatsoever. The stop pin, I haven't checked that, is an internal and hidden stop pin, which is not the best for me, but whatever. I mean, it's a very, yeah, doesn't budge at all. No lateral movement, no upside down movement. Perfect lock. And the engagement is, I would say, about 20%, which is absolutely great. So early and secured. Now, let's see. Look at that. I mean, it's smooth as I like them to be. I hate when the blade falls by its own weight. I've talked about that relentlessly, but look at that. And the detent, the centering, we talked about that. The detent is absolutely unbreakable. So perfect action. I mean, oh, you know what? It's just, I just received the knife, so maybe there are some flaws, but they're really well hidden, as the pivot is, the stop pin, sorry, really well hidden. I would say that to me, this is the closest thing to perfect. I see no real complaint about this knife. It's perfectly done. It's beautiful. What more can I say, my friends? Look closely to that guy. I think that if you have the chance to get one knife from him, this finish or another, you should jump on it. Dave Stark has some, and you should really be careful and get one if you have the opportunity. And we are now at the 15 minutes. So with that being said, my friend, I'll catch you very soon for another video. It was a pleasure. Bye bye.